Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Dad Bod's Crab Cakes and Sports. Jason here with Mike and John. We are husky, we are middle aged, we do drink. Yeah, drink. We also do eat lots of snacks. I think Mike's got one in the corner over there. But we also talk Baltimore sports, whether it's Orioles, Ravens, Terps, and also more. So, why don't we start Baltimore's best podcast right now? Hello, I'm back. Jason here with Dad Bod's Crab Cakes and Sports. How you guys doing tonight?
Great. Looks like you found a razor, Jason. Did you unpack one?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No
He's
idea.
talking about your bright and shiny face. We tend to hide. I mask a lot of the what's the word? The mistakes on my face with the beard that I have, so no one can see the actual face. So to have a face like you, I guess that's just different, right?
Tis. So, Mike, your voice isn't there again. Did you either had a coaching weekend or you started boozing again all weekend? What's
You
going on?
are on point, Mr. Weisbecker. I had 3 games, 2 last night and 1 this morning of soccer where I was. It's not my high school girls because I don't have to talk to them very much. They know what they're doing. But when I'm coaching the 11 and 12-year-olds, it's like almost directing the play. So lots of speaking.
Very true. John, your voice sounds fabulous. So you must not have been talking to any customers that you sold things to.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I hit my number 12. I needed a 12 car to get a bonus, and I hit that, and I was good to go for the rest of the weekend.
So is that 12 cars and what period of time?
In a month. So you
Oh,
get
not in one day?
Oh, I wouldn't have time to do that. I wouldn't have time to do that. Actually, I
I'm just
think my
kidding.
record was 5. I sold 5 to a guy who just walked in and goes, "Yeah, I need 5 trucks for my work. I don't care, just the cheapest 5 you got." And we had a business account, opened it up, boom. That was a good commission day.
I can imagine. Well done.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is fabulous. Well, what else? So, Mike, what's going on back there with lacrosse season? Are you guys playing lacrosse still? Because isn't it lac splash time over at the fairgrounds?
Yeah, buddy, you got a good memory. So it's tournament season. We do what's called the NGLL, which is like the National Lacrosse League. But the regular season ended, I think, either last week or the week before. There was a tournament. Our girls made it to like the semifinals of our region, and then the following week was the national championship. So now it's tournament time. So we have 3 tournaments out of the 4 weekends in June. So we had off this weekend, but the next 3 weekends we're in Delaware, in Pennsylvania, and somewhere else. We got like 3 places to go. So tournament heavy. But for me, I love it because I don't have to coach, so my voice will come back. I just get to watch and be like, "Yay, good job. Get back on defense." I don't know what I'm talking about because it's lacrosse.
Oh God, fabulous! Well, that is good to know.
How about you, my friend? What's going on over there in Gatorville?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just same old stuff. Sticking around the house mainly, chasing children around. That's really about it. I did find though in my having to eat healthier journey, um, like obviously the important things when you're trying to lose weight and whatnot is to have like a high level of protein, like per the pound that you want to weigh. So if you want to weigh 175 pounds, you should have 175 grams of protein a day while being in whatever calorie deficit you are. So what I've found is that bison ribeyes and elk steaks are my new favorite things ever created on God's earth. And I get them from this like exotic meat place, like right down the street. It's actually cheaper than you would get regular, boring old lazy beef cows. So very happy. I have like a 8 ounce. Is it 8? Yeah, maybe 8 ounce ribeye of bison. It's 51 grams of protein. I was like,
Be
yep,
be
done.
care be careful in any store that's called exotic meat. I just saying, like, I get what you're saying. It's very lean meat. It's delicious. It's good for you. I love me a venison steak or two. Just be careful in the market there and on the online websites. Just Just be careful.
Well, the store isn't called exotic meat. The meats are the exotic section. The store is called Wild Fork. Okay, so you can use your imagination, but they have anything you can think of: duck, venison, elk, bison. I mean, you name it.
Well,
They have it.
as long as it's all like
Human.
as long as it's all like in English, and you didn't have to like use Google Translate
Oh
to
yeah.
buy it, they give you the wrong translation, and you're eating like like dog or something, and it's actually you think it's like camel
No,
or something.
you go in there. Yeah, I mean, you go in there, and it's like carnivore diet's like best friend, and I'm pretty sure everyone that works there is on that diet, which is to me a little much, but because I do like vegetables, so I would never just go all meat. But to me, going to like finding these meats that are like super low in fat, but just like crazy high in protein. And then on this thing, which is kind of nervous to even bring this up in case I fail, but I'm starting tonight, like after I think it was about 8 o'clock was the last bite of food I had. And I will not put any more food in my body until Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So the show might go really well, or I might be dead. But
Or might be really angry. I get angry when I don't eat. Is that some type of intermittent fasting? Like, is that like
yeah,
a prolonged intermittent fasting? Because that's a lot of time.
yeah. So I already kind of do an intermittent fasting, but I haven't like I'm not as strict as I used to be on it. I used to be able to like at 7 o'clock at night, I wouldn't eat again until noon the next day, like the 16 hours or whatever it is. That's your normal one. But I've read a lot and listened to a lot of doctors and whatnot that recommend doing a 72-hour water fast. So water and coffee essentially are allowed in that 72 hours, but no food. And what it does is there's a lot of dead cells in your body over time, and it gets rid of all those dead cells, brings in all new cells, helps those regenerate. And also, like HGH, your human growth hormone, is then created within your body. It does all kinds of stuff. But like you said, Mike, you go through this period of like, I'm really angry, don't talk to me. And then you get like this full, well, this is what I heard. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know. But like this whole like mind clearing thing where you're like totally focused. It's like you just took like a whole bottle of Adderall or something like that. I don't know. Again, never taken Adderall, so I don't know, but it's what I've heard.
Yeah,
So we're gonna give it a shot.
I've heard about this, and like then like your bowels start like emptying on a very regular basis, and things. A friend of mine did it, and he said it made him feel like really just laser focused, and it was the first like 24 to 36 hours that were awful, and then after that it was okay, but he just said you had a lot of like bowel movements and things like that, it's clearing out all your waste.
I have two concerns, Jason. The first concern being this show is called Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. So if you get too into this thing, I'm a little worried that you won't be able to keep up your end of the bargain with the dad bod. Number two, anything that's like that where it's a little bit like, I don't know, exaggerated, I worry that it's something that you can't keep doing like over and over like forever. So anything that's a fad diet or a trend like that, I just be cautious about it. Make sure it's something that works for you before you continue with it.
So it's a total like reset on your body. It's only recommended that you do it like once a month or even farther out than that, right? And then if you really go crazy, and I like, because I'm also like as a diabetic, I do have to be careful, like because I do get insulin in my body regularly, so it has to get coverage. But if there's no food that's coming in to raise that insulin, my machine should make up the difference. Like I've gone 24 hours of not eating. Like when you guys are sick, say when you're sick or you have a stomach problem, how long have you gone without eating before? Probably longer than 24 hours, right? Because you don't want to put anything in your body. And you're still allowed to drink water, coffee, and all that stuff. So it actually is kind of proven my theory over time of like challenging the human body, because it like can take a lot more than us lazy, stupid Americans can actually push it. So it's like you going and running, Mike, all the time. I would much rather try this for 72 hours than go run 2 miles. Like, and the benefits I could get from it is almost potentially immediate weight loss. Like, because I mean, it's impossible not to lose weight. It's nearly impossible if you go 3 days without eating food. Because, like, again, when you're sick, how much weight do you lose? Like from the flu, I mean, I've lost like 7-8 pounds before. So we're going to give it a shot. We'll see if it works. I mean, I might be back here and say, yeah, I last 24, 36 hours, had too many ups and down lows, and I'm done with it. But any period that you can do is good for your body, like that, just kind of give it a break and regenerating. So that's the idea. So we'll give it a shot.
I like
Good
to
for
challenge
you,
my
Jason.
body by eating as much as humanly possible and seeing if it can handle it. And you know what? The older I get, the less my body accepts the challenge. It's like, hey, dude, you're not regular anymore. Things are bad. You can't sleep. Your body aches. You can't eat that much. You can't eat before bed. I don't know if you guys have that. I can't eat before bed or I don't sleep. Like, I think the older I get, all that stuff happens. And the running is just to counteract the amount of eating I do. It's not because I like it at all.
Right. No, and I get that. And it's funny because you said the comment about the dad bots things. I'd also like to be alive to do the show. So like the better I can like help my thing. I'm never going to be skinny. I can tell you that. But like I'm thinking I'd be happy at like if I could get under 190, I'd be very happy.
That
back
was
in like the 180 range. We'll see.
That was my playing weight in college, was like 195. So if I could break the 200 barrier, I would be thrilled to death. Right now I'm like at about 240, 250, something like that. But
See, I was 260 at one point years ago, and I went on the MetaFast diet, Mike, if you remember, and I dropped like 70 pounds almost, and that was the healthiest I've ever been. But again, that was a terrible diet, like as far as like because I didn't eat right. I mean, it's food, but it wasn't anything good. I just forced myself because I'm like, if I don't do this, I'm eventually going to end up in a box. So we should probably fix this.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at something the other day. You guys familiar with Dick's Last Resort, the restaurant? Oh, yeah. Okay. The Dick's Big Meat Challenge. I just saw this. Somebody at work showed it to me the other day. You have to eat 2 large steaks, a huge 12-inch wiener, nacho appetizer, house salad, double portion of mashed taters, and a double order of broccoli within an hour. Have you guys heard about this?
Not from there, no. That's crazy.
Do you know how many calories that is?
Oh, yeah.
You got to do it all in an hour or it's $80.
Well, like there's some crazy restaurants in Texas that like one of our mutual friends, Dan Rush, was telling me about. And he told us this back in like 8th grade that him and his mom went to this restaurant and they have a challenge of a 72-ounce steak. I believe it was a ribeye, 72-ounce ribeye, a baked potato, and a salad. If you eat the whole thing, you get it for free. And some big ass Texan came in and did 2 of them in one night.
That's a lot of protein.
Yeah. That's an amazing amount of eventual death.
I mean, doesn't the Food Network have a show that's like dedicated to that, like the food challenges?
Yeah, so that guy almost died, by the way. Yeah.
Well, is that the guy on Instagram and TikTok and stuff who's like doing the challenge?
He's completely changed his whole when I say he almost died, like he was really sick. Like he just got to a point and he's like, I just can't anymore. And he like
is that Adam Richman? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Is it Adam? Yeah.
And he is like a total like shell of himself now, but he looks good. Like he doesn't look whatever, but he doesn't look like he can put that stuff down anymore. But that was nuts.
But I mean, if you move it into like the sports world, right? You look at all these, offensive linemen, and they all get big just to play big. But a lot of them, when they slim down after they are retired, like they become like a skin and bones version of themselves, which is almost crazy. One of our buddies who plays golf with us, he actually lives in Vegas, and he has a Friday tee time sometimes with Jonathan Ogden. He's a short guy, and he's up next to John Ogden, man. It's like he's 3 feet taller, but he's not anywhere near as big as he, thick as he used to be, because these guys stay healthy.
Well, a friend of ours, my brother's godfather's nephew, played football at Army, and he played there for a year, and then he decided it wasn't for him. But he said the worst thing is that they want you at over 300 pounds, but then by graduation at the service academies, you have to be down to whatever the regulation is based on your height. So some of these guys got to lose like 70, 80, 90 pounds between the end of the bowl season and graduation day, or they don't get their commission in the military. So you got guys dropping like 70 pounds in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean that about the offensive lineman, Mike. That's totally true. And John Ogden was never like overly big, right? Like he was a very athletic, tall, strong tackle. But yes, he's a lot leaner now than he was before. But like Matt Burke had a playing weight of like 310 pounds. I believe, he looks like you and I now. Like it doesn't even, and same thing with Marshall Yanda. Like it's funny how those guys, because you're just eating to bulk and then change it. Like one of the funniest examples. Now this guy, there wasn't an ounce of fat on him, but Michael Phelps, when he competed, 10,000 calories a day when he competed, but he would burn it off so much. Like they did a whole story on him and like how he'd go through like stacks of pancakes and all this other stuff, and like just it's insane how much these guys can eat when they're putting in the work like they do.
Absolutely. Well, the Minnesota one of the news channels did a follow of Matt Khalil from the Vikings and exactly what he ate on a day. And to keep his weight at 320, he had to ingest over 14,000 calories. And granted, it's like good calorie, like it's good calories. It's not like he's drinking, 12 packs of soda and stuff, but he is ingesting like 15,000 calories. And if you go down to a normal 2,000 calorie diet, that weight will just fall off you right away.
Yeah, no kidding. Goodness gracious. Well, very interesting, very good. We'll see if I make it to the show on Wednesday or if I'm crying in the corner in the fetal position, but we'll all and how it goes.
We'll coax you on the camera, Jay.
We'll check up on you, Jason, to make sure you're doing okay. If we
here,
don't
Jason, here, Jason. Come out of the corner, buddy.
I'm confident I'm gonna do it, so we'll see if it has any effect.
Mike, you want 10-1 on that or 20-1?
Hey, I'm eating watermelon. That's my gateway right now. That's one of my favorite summer snacks because it's not super high in fat and it's just delicious.
Yeah, watermelon's my favorite when I eat fruit. Sweet. All right, so I guess we should move on to the O's. John hoped, wished, prayed, did everything. He reached out to Joe Boo, and the O's did sweep the Chicago White Sox. I don't know. I mean, we kind of talked about it. They needed to do it. I mean, they weren't crazy impressive, but they did get the job done. I guess that's all you can ask for, Mike.
Yeah, throw your church hands up early today because we got the old sweepy sweep for the first time this year. Starting pitching, I mean, I would say that the series overall was low scoring. So the first thing I look at is our starting pitching starting to turn a corner a little bit. Morton had another good outing today. Kramer pitched well this weekend. So, just looking at that makes me excited that we're staying in games within reach. We're not seeing 10, 12 runs a game going up. And then we're not doing a ton on offense, but we're doing enough. There's a little bit more timely hitting, getting on base a little bit more, trying to contact the ball instead of just trying to swing for the fences. And I think that approach is paying off. And at bat guys like Dylan Carlson, he's not swinging for the fences, right? He's just trying to poke the ball. Kobe Mayo is back up, trying to get on base here and there. He had his first major league RBI, and I'm sure you guys will talk a little bit about the little scuffle that happened with Kobe this week.
Yeah, and I mean it's funny. I reached out to you guys because I liked what his approach was on that hit that he got. How you can tell if you're watching his at bats now, his hands, where they might at some point go up and higher, they come down. First of all, they don't start as high as they were, so they don't go above his shoulder really, and then they get into more of a loading position. But then today, I think he struck out 2 or 3 times today, but he struck out on a curveball in his last at bat. I really couldn't. It was an inside curveball that just dropped off the table. Yeah, John, I know you wanted to talk about the scuffle there at second base. I'll let you go ahead and take over that one.
I just thought that was silly. Like the whole scuffle thing. Like it's not like we're having beanball wars. That was on Colby Mayo. But then the bullpen's empty out, and it's like, come on, guys, nobody's actually fighting. Nobody's pulling, Robin Ventura, Nolan Ryan, getting the crap beat out of them. It's all like for show now. Nobody's actually like fighting, and it's just, and that was a dumb play on Mayo's part. It wasn't even close to being interference, or he was trying to get the interference call on the shortstop and whatever. But that was just stupid. But maybe like I mean the last one where Kirstad who got hit at second. I think it was Kirstad at second base, right? Like I'm like, is that gonna
Yes,
like
that's
turn
correct.
things? I'm like, is that gonna turn things around? I don't think so. I just think these are just stupid because nobody's throwing beanballs anymore. This isn't the '90s. There's no reason to have any of this stuff anymore.
Well, I mean, I'm going to disagree with you. I think that the idea behind it, there's so much like gamesmanship within baseball and trying to gain an edge. And like, if there's a guy in the baseline when you're in a rundown, you try to make contact with him. Now he was exiting the baseline and he created that contact. It was a little obvious to what he did, but you never know. You never know what's going to get caught. So why not try? You got nothing to lose. And then their words were exchanged. Like, we don't know what he said to Mayo. He didn't like it. He's just like, get the hell out of my, get out of here. And he like pushed him. Well, him pushing him had Soto and the rest of them jumping over the the dugout onto the field. And I mean, it was for everyone's amusement, I guess, Mike. Like, I don't take anything away from it. I don't care. Like, I didn't think it would go any farther than it did anyway.
I mean, listening to like Locked On and those guys, they didn't think much of it either. But for me, it's just a young guy trying to make a baseball play. So you get in a rundown, Jason. You did that a million times when we were in high school, right? Like you get in that rundown, you're caught between the base pass, you're doing anything you can to survive. And so the problem was he was too far away to initiate that contact. So it was so obvious when he did it that it was meant to initiate when he pushed his arms and extended at the elbows. Like there was just no way you could miss it. If he's closer to that player, I don't think it's even as exaggerated. I think it just looks like more of a natural play. And the aftermath of that really, I mean, he's just a hyped up guy in the middle of a play and he's excited. He's trying to kind of, I don't know, just prove himself at the major league level and to prove himself to his teammates. So everybody can put yourself maybe in those shoes a little bit and see that, he was fired up and was trying not to back down. He doesn't want to look like a coward, in his first major league RBI in the process. And he just got a little caught up in it. And the bench clearing thing, it's kind of funny, John. You're right. Like you see these guys trotting in at a half jog from the outfield, like, oh yeah, they're really trying to get in there to break things up when they're just kind of, hey, what can we watch and see what's going on? Is there going to be a punch thrown? They're just kind of looking and seeing. But there are those guys who are just ready for a fight. Like those guys that are born for it. Like you said, Soto is ready to fight. I would want Ryan O'Hearn on my side. He looks like he could take care of business too. But I just like seeing that fire out of Kobe Mayo. So I'm okay with it. I have no issues.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think anything will come of it. Like, obviously, nothing did, and it's just one of those things. And it's funny, Mike, because you talk about the rundowns. Anytime you can get more throws in one play than were supposed to happen, nothing good can happen from it. So you're always hoping for someone to make a mistake by trying to stay alive and do these different things. Now, when you're at the major league level, I mean, it's probably, if I had to guess, like a 1% or less than a 1% chance you're going to get out of a rundown, unless there's other guys on base, and then that changes everything because you try to get the lead runner and whatnot. But yeah, look, he wanted to make sure the run was going to score. He also was hoping just to take another base. Got caught in no man's land. It's fine. Whatever. Now, there were no outs. I would have sucked. But there were 2 outs. Why not?
Absolutely. I didn't have any problem with the play. I think, you're trying to get yourself in scoring position with 2 outs. And I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. They made a good play. They cut the ball and, he got caught. But otherwise, I think Jason, he did and Mike both. If you watch, I slowed the video down after you said watch him, and I slowed the video down, and his hands are perfect. He got the barrel inside the ball and drove it right where he needed to. And I think if he can be doing that on a consistent basis, he played a little first base today. he could have an opportunity that if we end up trading Mountcastle, if we end up doing something like that, he may have a spot here if he can do that consistently. But we'll just have to see if that consistency is there, because that's going to be the big thing. Is that we all know that it's consistency. If one at bat, one game, 1 week, can that turn into 1 month? Can that turn into 2 months? Can that turn into a full season? And we'll just have to wait and see with Mayo what that will do for him, because we're seeing that with Holiday right now, right? I've been very happy with him.
Right, and Mike, that's the on base guy you were hoping for, that you were talking about. I mean, yeah. See, and these doubles that he's getting are eventually going to turn into home runs. It usually happens like that season afterwards. Like it definitely did for Manny Machado. If you remember, he had that season of like 30, 40 or so doubles, then the home runs came. So it's like the progression of a Major League Baseball player that has that type of ability. Now, I don't care if he hits 30 home runs. I'm perfectly fine with 325 plus home runs and 20 stolen bases. Like, especially if they're going to have him at the leadoff spot at some point. But yeah, I mean, his progression to me is he's no longer a worry of mine. He's just somebody that you pencil in, Mike, every single day in that lineup.
Absolutely. Jackson Holiday is playing really well. And the point of the matter is, Jason, if you look at his swing, he's just driving the ball, right? It's not these majestic high hits. They're line drives that are barely clearing the fence when they go out, and otherwise they're doubles. So that's what you want him to do. Hit the ball in the screws, right? And good things are going to happen. We're hoping that happens to Adley eventually. But the way they're swinging the bat, who's hot in the lineup? You got to deal with O'Hearn right now, who's still pretty hot. You got to deal with Jackson Holiday, who's pretty hot right now. And then after that, though, it's like you kind of got to mix and match. Urias is kind of been hit or miss a little bit. I like him. He's done okay up in the order a little bit with Adley, struggling and things like that. I know that they don't want to have lefty up there with O'Hearn. So you're talking about the possibility of going Jackson, Gunnar, O'Hearn. That really makes it easy to match up out of the bullpen, which is why I think you're seeing some other names get thrown up there to kind of see what's going on. I'll be curious how that changes, if Cowser and Westberg come back. Maybe Westberg can take that spot. I think that would be a great place for him to hit. Who do you guys trust right now? And do you think that this series is just the fact that we play the White Sox, or do you think there might be a little bit of a turn in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to break up the lefties right now, Urias, to me, he was in the 2-hole today. That's a good that was actually pretty smart. He's also hitting the ball very well. He makes contact to all fields, hits to the right side a lot. That's perfectly fine with me. But yeah, Westberg, to me, once I don't know if they want to throw him out there right away or if they want to wait, but to me, he's your number 2 hitter. Always has been for me. Now, if they do anything crazy or they want to lead Westberg off and move Jackson down, see, that was more of a hide thing. I like the continuity of leaving guys in a little bit and then just kind of take that 2-piece, move him over, maybe take your 5, move him to the 6, whatever you need to do just to make the matchups better. But the continuity to me is much better. Now, as far as taking the series from the White Sox, I don't know. They needed to. And it's going to be another low-scoring series, in my opinion, in Seattle because they don't hit the cover off the ball. They pitch very well. We're pitching very well right now on small sample size, last couple. So we'll see. I mean, if they take 2 or 3, the conversation's a little different. But yeah, I mean, to me, I wouldn't get your put a deposit down on the playoff tickets, Mike. What do you think, John?
John?
Well, I like the continuity in the offense. I think that keeping the guys in their spots is gonna be good for them. I really think if Adley can figure it out, having him hit number 2 behind Holiday and having Gunnar be able to hit the 3rd spot and then getting O'Hearn I just don't see O'Hearn being on the team at the end of the year. I see O'Hearn being if we're totally out of it and we have no chance at a playoff spot, I think O'Hearn's a guy who's gone. But keeping O'Hearn then at that 4 spot and then kind of filling in behind him, as long as we can keep those top 3 guys in a groove and in an order and getting them on a roll, the momentum I think is going to help us. But like I said, I think Holiday is just, I think he's figured it out or beginning to in the early stages of figure. And that's what's scary for other teams is I think Holiday is just in the beginning stretches of figuring it out. And imagine when he actually does figure it all out, what kind of player he's going to be. Because his defense and stuff has been pretty decent, throughout the year. But if we can get him in that leadoff spot, get him, hitting over 300 with an on-base percentage of, 415, 420, 430, we're going to win a lot of ball games. And I think that's what the Orioles need to concentrate on right now is getting him on base, getting him experience, keeping him in that leadoff role, and then kind of going from there. Because if you can count on, 4 out of 7 days of the week getting a run in the first inning, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
And John, what do you think about the series win, the sweep, and them going forward?
I think that's huge. We had to. Because if you're going to be a good team, what is the one thing you have to do? You have to beat bad teams. That's what we always talk about with the Ravens, right? They don't beat the bad teams. We have a problem with that with the Ravens. But the Orioles, if we beat the bad teams, get Morton, get Dean Kramer, get some of these starters a little bit of confidence. A little bit of confidence will go a long way down the road. And then we will, I think we'll see the fruits of the labor against Seattle. And then I'm sorry, I didn't look to see who we played after Seattle, but if we can take a couple out of the series with Seattle, then take a couple from the A's, and let's say we win 7 out of 10, you know what? We're not too far behind 500, and if we can get some momentum going on our side, I think we'll be in much better shape.
And something, or actually, before I do that, Mike, what's your opinion on this?
Well, it's interesting. I like that we have Eflin, Povich, and Sagano all going in Seattle. I trust Sagano right now. He's kind of proven that to me that he's going to give you a solid outing each and every time. And Eflin, I think, looked a lot better this weekend. So I think there's 2 good chances to win. Povich is a mixed bag. You never know. Like, he's definitely got stuff. But to win 2 or 3 in Seattle, the pitching's got to be there. Like you said, it's going to be a pitcher's duel. They have great starting pitching out there. Cal Raleigh is raking right now. He's just hitting the cover off the ball. He's having an all-time catcher type season. So that they have some dangerous bats in their lineup. Julio Rodriguez is still there. He's not playing particularly well, but he's capable. I think it's a good to get all 3. 2 of 3 isn't as good as getting all 3. So I think that's big. It's a 3-game swing in your record towards 500. And then obviously if they can get 4 of 6 on the road, during this West Coast swing, I think that would be huge for them. As we're talking moving forward, there's those trade rumors swirling about Cedric Mullins. There's a right hamstring thing going around the Orioles right now. So Mountcastle has a right hamstring. Cedric has a right hamstring. Looks like a lot of these injuries are happening running some bases and sprinting and that kind of stuff. But, with these guys injured, it's really hard to trade them first of all. I mean, I don't think it's happening imminently anyway. But I thought more and more about the Cedric Mullins situation, and I'm all for a Cedric Mullins trade. Like, I feel like that has a couple things with it. Number one, you're going to get something for him, Jason. I think you hit that on the point. Like, he is a valuable asset. I don't think that there aren't many major league teams that wouldn't value a Cedric Mullins, first of all. The second thing with that is I think it clears some space to see what you got otherwise. And then in the offseason, you'll really know what kind of veteran bat you'll need to sign, whether or not some of these guys perform in their place. I would think the same thing with O'Hearn. You let him go. Maybe Mayo gets a run at first base. Maybe you let Mountcastle go, get Mayo some run at first base, and you'll find out whether or not he's the solution. And then you go get Pete Alonso next offseason or whatever it is that you're going to figure out what you need to fill in. So I'm all about it. I feel like the nice thing about the record right now, it gives you opportunity to do a little bit of experimenting, and I don't think it hurts to try that.
Okay. Well, let me give you guys a scenario then. If they somehow get within 5 games of a wild card at the trade deadline, what do you do? John, what do you do?
We deal Kerstead for some pitching. We deal Mayo for some pitching. We hang on to Basayo. I don't think you can deal him, but I think we deal some of Carlson, Kerstad, Mayo. Those three guys go unless May. I'm over Kerstad. His defense just sucks. He needs to be either at a DH position or he needs to be on another team. But if we're gonna hang on to Mountcastle, then we deal Mayo. If you deal Mayo, you hang on to Mountcastle. But if we're in a playoff run, we have to hang on to Mullins. There's no question in my mind. So I'm gonna say we'll deal Kerstad, we'll deal Carlson, and we'll deal Mayo to try to get starting pitching to help us down the stretch.
Very interesting. Mike, what do you do?
I think some of it depends on the pitching coming back or whether or not it does come back. We talked about Tyler Wells and Kyle Bradish. If they look like they're on track to return, I don't think it's as important to trade a Mullins or O'Hearn for a starter or someone ready to come up. But if they aren't, if they're pushing them, and I would say why not? Just go ahead and trade Mullins. He's a free agent in the offseason. The likelihood of you winning the World Series is still pretty low at that point. Go ahead and trade that bat. Get a young arm who's ready to go into your rotation. I think that's what they need to trade for if they're going to make a trade. And I'd be okay with trading a veteran bat like Mullins, O'Hearn, etc. As far as Kerstad and Mayo, I would hold on to Mayo for now. As far as Kerstad, I think who wants him? I don't know. What are you going to get for him? So that's my big question. You have to, if he's packaged maybe with somebody else, he helps increase the value of a deal and get one of those starters. I'm okay with that, but I don't think you're getting too much for him right now.
John, do me a favor. Look up how many games are out of the wild card right now in the American League. My thought process is very similar to Mike's. If you are 5 games out of the wild card come the trade deadline, you should treat it as though you are 20 games out of the wild card at the trade deadline. Did you find it, John? Okay. So what I mean by that is business as usual. If you were going to, I don't want to say rebuild. It's more like a reload. Like I said last time, it's like a buy/sell thing. You call the Phillies, you say, hey, so they're 9 games out. So they're 9 games out now. The 2 hot weekends has you 5 games. And like Mike, see, but no, I'm not interested in that because I feel like it's fool's gold. You're being sold
Exactly.
a bill of goods here. I think you need to. You got to be very careful how you do it because Elias pissed off half the team last time when he traded Mancini and those guys because he didn't have confidence in them. They thought so. You don't want that to happen again, but you can do it in a way that you're adding pieces that are going to play a role almost immediately. Philadelphia has young, really good pitching. Like I said, Andrew Painter, they have Abel. I think Mullins would cost at a minimum would cost Abel. The Orioles won't take any less than that, and they shouldn't.
They should be able to swing him, right?
Oh my God, that's so terrible. That's so terrible. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
O'Hearn. So that's what makes me nervous because you want to strike while the iron's hot. You want to get that, but who's going to replace O'Hearn next year? Like you thought it'd be easy to replace Santander, you didn't. So
sign somebody for real,
right? I mean, but even if they have all intentions of going after this guy and this guy at the bats, they still have to. The other guys still have to want to come here. They still have to pay them more than the other team. It's not, like they could have given Burns more than anyone. He still wasn't coming here, because he got the sweetheart deal that he wanted. So it's like there's so many situations that come into play. You can't count on that. So you do have to have some sort of backup plan. I would do a handshake agreement with O'Hearn. Go get a ring, and we'll see you next year. Best of luck. And then that would be a guy that I would be all about bringing back because he fits this mold really well. But yeah, I mean Soto, what's the other one? Dominguez, like all these guys. Bye. Like you can go help contenders. Like that would be good. So again, I would treat it as though you were way out of it, even if they're 5 games. Now, if they're in first place, first place. If they're in the main lead wild card position by a few games, maybe. But that's a lot of games to make up in a short period of time.
So here's my question for you guys, and I'll give my opinion after you guys. Let's just go back to the off season. What if we sign Santander instead of O'Neill, and he's producing at the same levels that O'Neill is producing at? Are you guys going to be upset with signing Santander?
To me, it would have came down to the money. If you're giving Santander like a massive amount of money, like I feel like the Orioles guessed right. Now he might have a rebound year after this year, but he's playing like you said. Is he doing what O'Neill's doing? O'Neill's not even on the field,
Right? But even when he's on the field, he's not doing anything.
Right?
He's not doing anything
Santander,
on the field.
either Santander,
Neither of them are on the field.
Right? Like they're not playing well, so I'm okay. Like to me, it's a wash. Like. The Burns one hurts me just because it's like, oh, could have used that. But
he's not on the field now either. He got hurt tonight.
Yeah, I knew it.
Right.
They moved him up too to keep him on regular rest. So I'm not sure how that went. Do you know what it was?
They said he grabbed at his side. What was it?
Okay.
I thought it was his elbow. I thought I saw an article that said it was his elbow. Let me check this real quick. I'll mute myself so you guys don't complain about.
Yeah, and I'll chip in on the Santander. Just real quick with that, I would be upset. Yeah, I mean, I'm upset with how O'Neill's playing. I would be upset with how Santander's playing. Like, let me just be real. I'll put you in that situation. Of course, we want our team to play well. But again, it's a moot point because both of them are off the field. Neither are producing at the clip they're supposed to be. So it's really a wash. I mean, it's not a big difference.
Burns has an elbow injury, has a scheduled MRI for tomorrow morning.
God, that's terrible.
He said a word afterwards, like he knew it happened and called the guys out. It was like crap.
No, that sucks.
Yeah,
I'm a Burns fan, man. That's
has he
terrible.
had Tommy John?
No.
Has he had Tommy John yet? Okay,
no.
So I'll tell you what, you have to figure that he's going to need Tommy John in the next 2 to 4 years.
I mean, the way that he trains, like, I mean, he's a big boy and he's real big lower half. Like he avoided all of that with his style. And I mean, I guess it's naive of me to think that he wouldn't have any issues, but that's again, guys, this is the issue I have. And apparently so does Elias with paying pitchers huge contracts with huge years on it. Like you want to give them a lot of money, give them all the money, but 3-4 years max on some of these guys.
I'm with you, Jason. I'm with you. I think with that, I'm starting to get more and more with you. The more guys I see go down with TJ. But the biggest thing for me though is then go get some bats. Like go get some legit bats. And if you can't acquire pitching in the free agency, then go trade for it. You have to have a little bit of risk. You know, we're so enamored with our own prospects. We think every prospect we have is going to be a major league all-star. And it's just not the average. It's not how it works. The odds are that either Kobe Mayo or Heston Kjerstad, one of them maybe has major league all-star capabilities. Both of them probably aren't. You got to sniff out which one it's going to be, and you got to trade the other. And sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose. But sometimes you got to pull the trigger. So I hope that what this does, having a down season, we're hoping not to have too many of these right in the next 5 years. So maybe this is a chance to reset, to kind of own up on those mistakes, and then next offseason, make the moves you didn't make this season. Alex Bregman's a free agent again after this year. You got a lot of guys on free agency next year. Go get some real veteran bats. Like you said, Jason, if you want to bring O'Hearn back after you trade him, do that. But make sure you get some guys in here with real experience who know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, we could talk about this all night long, but we should move on a little bit. And I believe, John, you're getting your vocal cords ready because you are going to be the host of the world's greatest trivia contest. I'll let you take it over.
All right. So let's.
Oh, you're already starting off brilliantly, John. I am so proud of you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite trivia show. We are going to play Dad Bod's Jeopardy.
Woo!
And now, your host. No, I'm just kidding. So, our categories for Jeopardy tonight. Category 1 is Baltimore sports. Category 2 is Maryland native athletes. Category 3 is closing time.
Fabulous.
So,
Great song by Semisonic. You should have queued that up. That would have been great.
I should have, and I thought about it too late. So, tonight's again, we're gonna go Baltimore sports, Maryland athletes who are native of Maryland, and then closing time. Baseball.
Real quick, John, on closing time. I have a student teacher, and he insists every last 5 minutes of our weight training class to play that song so the students know to clean up. It's like cleanup time when you were in kindergarten. And so that song has played for the last 6 weeks in my classroom. And I think I've developed an aversion to it. I'm not 100% sure.
Closing time, time to
Oh, there you go, John.
go
Well
out
done.
to the places you will be from. Yeah, I had a manager who played that every time we closed the store.
John, I thought about this for our trivia, like, because when we're trying to read our questions, sometimes our eyes are down. So when you raise our hand, also say your name. So Mike will say Mike, or Mike, if you want, you can say Jason, and then I automatically win.
There we go. Okay, all right. So Mike, since you won last time, we'll let you go first. So Baltimore sports, Maryland native athletes, and closing time. Major League Baseball closers.
I'm a little worried tonight, John, but I'm gonna give it my best go here. Let's go closing time for 100.
This Panamanian closer holds the all-time MLB saves record.
Jason.
Mariano
Rivera.
Very good. So am I keeping score, Jason, or are you keeping score?
No, I'll do it. So that's 100 for Jason.
100 for Jason. All right, Jason.
I thought you said Panda American. I was like, what's a Panda American?
Well,
but now I get what you said.
Panamanian, not Pan American. Panamanian.
No, the Panda used to play third base for the Giants. He wasn't a
right. Now he plays for the Brooklyn Cyclones in the Atlantic League. A friend of mine pitched against him in the Atlantic League.
Good old Pablo.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
I'll do it for 500. We'll stay in the same category.
Okay. This for 500. This intimidating reliever wore rec specs and saved 284 games across 3 teams, including the Cardinals and the Braves.
Oh. Can I guess, but not?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this isn't.
Your time's up. Time's up anyway.
Was this guy like in the 80s and such?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh.
No. Recent. Cardinals, Braves, and Red Sox.
Oh, I know who it is. Is it Kenley Jansen?
No, Jason Isringhausen.
I almost said I had a thought.
Did he wear rec specs? He didn't always wear them, though.
When he played for the Cardinals, he had glasses on.
Because he didn't when he played for the Red Sox.
No, he didn't. When he had with the Cardinals, he had at least for a short amount of time, he had rec specs on.
Man, all right. I thought you were gonna pull something out of the 80s and go with like Tom Henke.
No,
Ooh,
I
that
wasn't
been really good.
Jason, I wasn't gonna be that mean.
I'd have got it.
Okay. All right. Jason, now is your turn. We have Baltimore sports, Maryland. Okay, for 1,000.
Clear it out.
Okay. This eccentric left-handed closer saved 122 games for the Reds in the 90s. Was known for sprinting.
Jason.
Yes.
In the 90s. Randy Myers.
Yes. Now let me finish the question. He was known for sprinting to the mound from the bullpen and once parachuted into a minor league game during a promotion. Yeah, I thought that was amazing. Okay. Jason, back to you.
Okay, let's do. Wait, it was Maryland athletes.
Maryland native athletes and Baltimore sports.
Let's do Baltimore sports for 100.
He was the first Ravens player ever drafted into the Hall of Fame.
Jason. John Ogden.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mike, you have a question.
John Ogden.
Okay.
You didn't say your name, Mike. It doesn't count.
It doesn't
Oh,
count.
that's good.
Okay, Jason, your
Mike
turn.
John Ogden.
Okay,
Same
very good, Mike.
category for.
Okay. Oh,
for
I didn't know
500.
this one as I was doing research to come up with interesting questions. This Oriole was ejected mid-game in 1993, then returned wearing a disguise in the bullpen to prank the umpires.
Oh man. I don't know, John.
I don't know,
Time
John.
up.
Had to be a pitcher, I assume.
Mike Mussina.
Really?
Yeah, I found this. I was like looking for interesting clues of Orioles we would know. And between Google and Chat GPT, I found that Mike Mussina pulled a Bobby Valentine. You remember Bobby Valentine went back in the dugout with the mustache, right?
Oh, that's
Mike
funny.
Mussina evidently did this in 93. All right, Jason, your turn.
We can clear out the category, John.
Okay, Mike, how do we, we can't mute Jason's thing. I was going to help you out, Mike. Okay, this now defunct Baltimore team won a championship in 1985 in the United States Football League.
Oh man. All right, I don't know. You got to give us.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Stars.
Wow.
They played
I
in
didn't know
Baltimore and Philadelphia in the defunct USFL, defunct by one President Donald Trump, and they won the championship in 1985. All right, so our last category is Maryland native athletes. Mike, let's go. You got this, Mike. Jason, which one would you like?
For 100, please.
This Towson native led the Syracuse Orange to an NCAA title.
Jason. Carmelo Anthony.
All right. Jason, next one.
I don't remember to say my name. I keep throwing my hand up.
I saw
my
your
hand was
name.
up
I saw your
too.
hand go up, but Jason.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just like
Okay.
Just
I quit.
In case you want, Jason has 1,300 and Mike has 0.
Okay.
I don't have negative yet, though.
No negative.
500, Jason. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This Prince George's County native is a multiple-time NBA champion, and he played one season at the University of Texas.
Mike.
Yes, Mike.
Kevin Durant.
Yes, sir. All right. So, Mike, this is the last one we have for 1,000. This Baltimore native and Dunbar High School graduate won 3 NBA championships during his playing career and became a successful NBA assistant coach. Dunbar High School graduate.
I don't want to. I know it. I don't want to do it though.
Well,
because
Jason, you're so far ahead.
I think you didn't give enough information.
He's won 3 NBA championships and is
counting?
currently an NBA assistant coach.
Are you doing a countdown or? Oh, he's currently one. I'm going to do it. I'm going for it. Jason. Sam Cassell.
Yes.
He was
My
also a
dad.
head coach. He was
My
also a
dad.
head coach.
What?
Wasn't he a head coach as well at some point?
At some point I believe
Felt
he
like the
was.
Milwaukee Bucks.
But my dad, like one of his first years teaching at Baltimore Lutheran, coached against Dunbar with Muggsy and Sam Cassell and Rashad Lewis or somebody. I don't remember who the other guy was, but he's like, yeah, I was coaching JV against like three future NBA guys.
They
All
have
right.
that 30 for 30 with those guys. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
have seen that.
Okay, so here is our final Jeopardy. The final Jeopardy category is starters and enders.
Oh.
I'm going to risk it all, John.
Are you, Mike?
Okay.
I mean, I'm even telling Jason.
Yeah.
All right. So starters
Hold on.
and enders. All right. Are you ready for the clue, gentlemen?
I'm ready for the clue.
Okay. Before becoming a Hall of Fame closer, this pitcher was a starting pitcher who threw a no-hitter for the Cleveland Indians in 1977.
Can you repeat the question?
You mean the answer?
Whatever.
Before becoming a Hall of Fame closer, this pitcher was a starter who threw a no-hitter for the Cleveland Indians in 1977. He later gave up one of the most iconic walk-off home runs in postseason history. All right. So, Mike, you are behind. Do you have an answer?
I do.
I can't
You
read
can't
that
read
answer.
that. I'm hoping that it's Mitch Williams.
It is not Mitch Williams.
It's Dennis Eckersley for
Yes.
1,500.
That is right, Jason.
Your
Very good,
your
Jason.
second clue threw me off the scent because actually that's what I had written down until you said like the iconic. But I forgot that Eck gave one up too.
Yeah, he gave up the one to Kirk Gibson in 1988.
Well done, Jason.
Good job, Jason.
Thank
Did you guys
you,
like those
guys.
clues?
Loved him.
I
That was
didn't know
good,
about
John.
Randy Myers parachuting into the game. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's funny.
John, we found a game where you can wind in all those random thoughts that you like to add to our conversation. So I think you played a great host
Absolutely.
today.
Oh, well, you know what's even more exciting? Whoever wants to host next week, if it's John or if you want to jump back in there, John, and let Mike do it,
Mike.
as the winner stays. Jimmy will be on the show next week to go, just to let everyone know, to go over the Belmont and what we should be looking forward to. Hopefully we can all make a few shekels. Mike, you weren't on the show last time, but Jason and Jimmy won a little bit of money, a few $100 here and there, so that wasn't bad. And we are also going to let Jimmy play Sports Jeopardy. So that should be entertaining and fun.
Absolutely.
So I did want to, breaking news. The Royals are calling up their top prospect from last year, Jack Caglione from AAA, to come in and hit the baseball, hopefully over the fence, because they don't have many guys that do that except for Bobby Witt. So
It's this
a little bit of
Pasquatch.
breaking news.
Yeah.
Squatch. All right. So that was fun. Good job, John. Appreciate it. Now, our one of our last segments here. I guess do you guys want to do the favorite sports memories now, or do you want to do Ravens OTAs? What do we want to do first? Dealer's choice, John.
Let's do the memories because I'm on the time crunch because I have to go pick my Mike's favorite preschool teacher up from the airport.
Oh, Mike, you can't play favorites.
Miss Shirley. Gotta get Miss Shirley off the plane.
Maybe we'll have Miss Shirley on Wednesday night. How would that be, Mike?
That would be. I don't think I've seen Miss Shirley in 41 minus 38 years. I don't know.
Nice.
Probably. I'm sure she looks a little different after 4 children. So, anyway, Jason, do you want to introduce what we're doing
Yeah,
next?
so
I
I
have all
thought
our
it'd be
media
cool.
assets ready.
Yep, I thought it'd be cool that we introduce, well, not introduce, but throw out a quick segment on all of our favorite sports moments. Doesn't have to be local, can be local, but each of us pick 3. John, did you have someone? Who did you want to start with?
We can start with you, Jason. I have I
Okay.
have all of your 3 pulled up here.
Okay. You want to do one? Pick one.
Yes, we'll start with this one.
Getting better shooting range. There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up.
Yep, that was the 1992 semifinal game, I guess the Final Four game of Duke and Kentucky, where Christian Leitner got the full court pass from Grant Hill, did a quick little dribble fake shot from the foul line, and beat Kentucky. That to me is probably one of my favorite all-time moments. It's one of the first real sports moments I guess I remember as a child. I remember exactly where I was when I saw it. I happened to walk into the room as my whole family was watching it at my cousin's house in Virginia. We'd all gone down there. I think it was during Easter, actually, because sometimes the NCAA tournament falls around that time. So we were out there for that. And again, that's probably one of my favorite sports moments.
All right. So let's go
Grant Hill drinks Sprite, Jason, just so you know.
He does. That he does. And his father used to work for the Orioles.
He's got great speed, but that's not going to get it done.
Flacco stepping up and throwing deep down the far sideline. Caught! Into the end zone! Touchdown, Jacoby Jones!
Oh, you stole one of mine, Jason.
No, that's yours.
No, that's yours, Mike. I'm going Jason, you, then me.
Oh, we're playing a circle game. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, we're
It's
sharing,
a triangle, Mike. It's a triangle.
We're going counterclockwise. I don't know. Counterclockwise. I don't know what's happening. Mile High Miracle, the 2012 divisional playoff game versus Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. We're trailing. Joe Flacco steps up in the pocket and just launches one. And the defensive backs from Denver are busy just talking to each other, hanging out. And Jacoby Jones, one of the fastest guys on the field, just slips behind everybody and goes for a touchdown. I was standing in a restaurant in northern Baltimore County, Friendly Farms. I remember Friendly Farms. They do like family style fried chicken and stuff like that. And so we're there and we're waiting, and I'm like, we cannot leave this restaurant until I see the end of this portion of the game. And I see that happen, and I go insane. Like, I had already tried, you have that coping mechanism where you try to, all right, we lost. It's okay. What am I going to do? You try to start the grieving process early. And man, that was just one of the greatest sports moments of my life.
Oh,
yeah, that was on my list too, Mike.
I do. That was one of my honorable mention ones. I did consider it though. I do want to do a shameless, since we are dad bods crab cakes in sports. Friendly Farms is my favorite crab cake of all time. By the way, favorite crab cake. So if anybody wants to give me a birthday present, actually, you know what? Don't mail it. That'd be really bad. Probably food.
They have dry ice, Jason. Dry ice would still make it pretty good, I think.
Maybe we got to get them to sponsor us. That would be great.
Oh,
ooh, there we go. All right, so here's my first one.
Red Sox are 1 out away. Back to Folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. Red Sox are.
I was in and out of the hospital as this whole thing is going on, and I watched the entire Yankees series. I watched the entire World Series, and this was like after my car accident. This was like the first big thing that like happened, and I was very excited about this. So, Red Sox breaking the curse of the Bambino, and I remember I was at home actually watching this game.
Oh, it's
so, yeah. All right, Jason, let's go here for your number number
No,
2.
just to be clear, none of these are in any particular order for me. I
Nope.
mean, they're all awesome.
Yep. So here you go, Jason. Here's number 2.
Chase him down and pull off a shocker here. Well, there's no doubt that he's tightened up. Orioles lose it to ground. Here comes Lezak. Unbelievable at the end. He's done it. The U.S. has done it. He did it. He did it. He did it. Phelps his hopes up.
Yeah, shirtless dudes. Let me tell you, that's pretty awesome.
That was when they still wore those full body suits, right?
Whew. Dude, that gave me some goosebumps. All right. So that was the 2008 Olympics when the 4x100 relay in the swimming pool. It was the second race for Michael Phelps when he won the 8 gold medals. But to set the record, they had to win that race. And Jason Lezak came from behind. It was almost an entire, it was like a half a second, which is like an eternity in swimming. And he came all the way back off the wall and won. To me, like the whole memorable moment was more of like Michael Phelps winning the 8 ones. And I thought this was a good clip, but that alone is an awesome moment within itself.
Yeah, that's like a half second in swimming is like making up, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute in a mile trying to, or in a marathon, excuse me, in a marathon. It's an eternity. And I remember watching that race. I think the Olympics that year were like at the end of August, the beginning of September. And I think I was in college. I know I'm a little bit younger than you guys. You guys were working hard, but I remember watching that in my dorm room. I think it was my dorm room.
Have you guys ever tried swimming? Like I can barely stay with my head above the water. Like if I have to tread water. So like a half a second holding myself up seems like too much. So like to make up that much time is ridiculous.
I did swimming in middle school. I was on a swim team in middle school. I was not very good. I just
You sunk. That's great.
I was the rock. I held the team down.
Oh boy.
You were a different kind of anchor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't swim the anchor leg. Okay. All right. Here's the next one, Mike. Well, I think all 3 of us had this one.
Postseason, Delvin Young, 280 hitter, 8 homers, 15 runs batted in. And everybody knows he's ready to fire on the first one. Bases loaded. Young swings, line drive. That is down and to the wall. Cruz is in. Pierce is in. Hardy around third. He's going to try to score. And safe.
Oh my God, I got the goosebumps again.
I know it too.
Oh, Delvin Young, Detroit Tigers, 2014 divisional series. Unbelievable. Bases clearing, double. Just Jason, we were together that day.
We were, we didn't get to watch it. I had to watch that.
We were listening. We were listening to it.
Phone on the replay. I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Run, just go!"
And to put this in perspective, one of our best friends in the wedding party is a Tigers fan, right? So we had to kind of like tame our enthusiasm just a little bit because as we're like blowing up and just so super excited, our friend Jeremy is just like head down, slumped shoulders, like looking at the ground. And so, but that was one of the most amazing.
Was this your wedding, Mike?
Jason's wedding.
Mine in South Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right. So here's another one. I think you guys will like this one. I picked this one out.
Opened up a 2-length lead as they come to the top of the stretch, and Frosted has moved up into second, and they're into the stretch, and American Pharoah makes his run for glory as they come into the final furlong. Frosted is second with 1/8 of a mile to go. American Pharoah's got a 2-length lead. Frosted is all out at the 16th pole, and here it is. The 37-year wait is over. American Pharoah is finally the one. American Pharoah has won the Triple Crown.
Oh, goosebumps again.
Yeah, I don't remember where
Body can't take it.
I don't remember where I watched that, but I think it was. I don't remember. I think it was in Guam or something. But I remember watching that and just, I was like, every year since Facebook came out, I would post, "Are we gonna have a Triple Crown winner this year?" And then finally, I don't have to post it anymore because we saw a Triple Crown winner.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So, all right, Jason, I got one more video clip for you here.
Yeah. So because Mike, we both chose Adelman Young, I did an honorable mention.
All right. So here's the last video clip.
Carrie Strug, it is up to her. If she can score 9.493 or better, then she will win the team gold for the USA. She's the last to go. She's the only one who can do it. Oh! Carrie is hurt. A 9-7-1-2. She has done it.
Awesome. Yeah, I like the Olympics a lot. Some of the
I didn't
greatest
remember
moments
that.
ever.
I didn't remember
Really?
that. No,
Dude,
Oh
So,
yeah.
women's gymnastics was always pretty badass for a while, and then they had this period where they just weren't very good, and that was the team that kind of brought everything back. They weren't expected to win there, and they did. And that moment to me is probably one of the best moments of all times, as far as an athlete going, playing hurt, doing something like that, landing on one foot to secure the gold medal is pretty cool. And again, that was 1996 Olympics. Carrie Strug landing on one foot to win the gold medal for the Team USA women's team.
my other one, my third one was I was living in Cleveland at the time when the Cavaliers won the championship in 2016, and I was visiting my brother-in-law in Guam when they won, but when we came back, like the whole town was just, oh, now we can win a Super Bowl and we can win a World Series, and the whole town was like, you know what? It's not the mistake on the lake anymore. They're like, we can do anything now that the Cavs have won, and I remember that. Yeah, and then the Indians went to the World Series that year, and then got beaten by the Cubs. So that was short lived.
Well, those were some.
My third one there. I had. Does it have to be positive, Jason? Because I had some stuff that was scarring, but also very memorable. I have a list of about 6 or 7 things, but if I'm thinking scarring, do you remember the Tony Fernandez home run in the 1997 ALCS?
Off Armando Benitez.
Yes, Mike Mussina had pitched 8 shutout innings, I believe, and Charles Nagy was pitching for the Indians, and like we had 9 hits and they had like, I don't even know, it was like 1 or 2, and like I could not believe we lost that game. I just could not believe we lost that game. I heard it on the radio. I was in Ocean City, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. So that was the one, and then the other one was the Cundiff Evans game. The two they were kind of tied for my third, where we have a chance to tie the game or win the game with the Evans touchdown. He drops it in the front corner of the end zone in New England, and then obviously Billy Cundiff trots on. There's an issue with the clock, yada yada. 20-some yard field goal and just misses it. I was at Donovan's house, man, and I was devastated, just completely devastated.
Do you guys remember the Tony Tarasco and Jeffrey Mayer incident?
Yep.
In I believe that was the 96, and then so my other two was that one was the bad one, but then I remember my dad woke me up and took me down to the TV to watch the final number roll off the side of the warehouse.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that was one I was thinking of. The other one was the Ravens' first Super Bowl win. Just the entire run to the Super Bowl too. Like more to me, than the actual game of dominating the Super Bowl was them beating Tennessee in Tennessee the way that they did. Ray Lewis took the ball away from Eddie George, and then I believe was that Anthony Mitchell's game when he blocked I think that was in the playoffs, right? Anthony Mitchell blocked the field goal, ran it back for a touchdown.
I think it was the AFC division game that year, I think.
Yeah, it was a divisional game.
Yeah.
And then they went to – and then after that, it was like – it wasn't a question. I think for me, two things. When the Ravens won against the Titans, and then we played the Raiders, and then we played the Giants, I knew we were winning the Super Bowl. And then when the second Super Bowl, as soon as we beat Denver, because Peyton Manning gives me nightmares. I hated playing against Peyton Manning. So once we got by Peyton Manning, I wasn't as worried about the Tom Brady thing, and then they rolled all over Tom Brady. So
Yeah, those are good ones, Jason. And John, you brought up the Ripken on the warehouse. I was there for 2130, and that was one of mine on the periphery of my top 3 list as well. And then a couple others. Jason, you were with me at that Ravens Titans 2003 playoff game where Gary Anderson hits that field goal in the end zone. That one sticks in my crawl to this day. And then the other one was awesome in 2003. Do you remember the Ravens Seahawks game where Seahawks were up by like 41-17, and Ed Reed blocked a punt, and I think Marcus Robinson maybe had 4 touchdowns or something like that in the game, and they came back to win 44-41. And I was at that game, and a ton of fans had left that game, and it was one of my favorite games I've ever gone to in my life.
Well, I remember, Jason, I was talking to you like this was 2014. We were playing the Royals, and I was in Virginia, and I went to the game, and O'Day gave up the walk-off, or not the walk-off home run, but the home run. I think it was the bottom of the 9th or the top of the 9th, top of the 10th, something like that. And then the Orioles lost in the playoffs, and that whole place the air just went out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The other one for me was, and we've talked about it on the show before, was when Maryland played Michigan State in Gravis' last game, Vasquez's last game. And they hit that, was it Lucas? Hit that shot that was like almost a little in front of half court. That one, yeah. Not a fan of that one.
You'll remember that one.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, those were awesome. That was good. I'm glad we threw that in there. We can do more stuff like this. That was John, good job with the videos and such.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. This one I don't think we really need to spend too much time with because not a whole lot happened. But the Ravens OTAs, they came, they went. Everyone's healthy, which is good that participated. A lot of people showed up that we did not think was going to happen. My biggest takeaway, again, was that all the veterans showed up. For the most part, it's a huge show of unity, huge show of getting down to business. Hopkins and Lamar's relationship looks like it's blooming. He made some great plays. So to me, nothing but good things. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm just curious now. I think we talked about OTAs a little bit last time, and I had a similar opinion as you, Jason, just encouraged by the amount of veteran presence there. Roquan was there. Kyle Hamilton was there. All the defensive and offensive leadership was there. Obviously, among the rookies, Malachi Stark signed this week. Did you hear about the Marlon Humphrey tweet? The tweet that my guy's here and practicing, even though he's not signed. It was kind of thought to be a dig against some of those Bengals guys who their rookie Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson, who are not in camp and playing. And then, of course, Marlon goes and retracts and says he's talking about the agents and things like that. But that was kind of the takeaway there. But our guys are there and competing. June 1st is today, boys. We've been talking about June 1st cut. So I'm sure there's going to be some action picking up here in the NFL shortly. So I'm excited to see what goes down this week when those things are official and some teams have some more money to spend.
Absolutely. I think, we got out of OTAs without any injuries. And that's got to be the biggest thing in my mind is that everybody is healthy going into training. Outside of Ardarius Washington, but looks like he's planning on coming back towards the end of the season. So, that could be a big boost to that defense come, November, December. I'm not an orthopedic doctor or anything or know anything about anything outside of like knee injuries, but they said it was a clean tear, which is much better.
You did stay at Holiday Inn Express last night, though, didn't you, John?
Yeah, and I ate a Snickers bar today, too. So, that's making me feel better, too. But they say that the clean tear is is a much easier recovery than, I don't know what's an unclean tear. I don't know, but they said November, December, we could have Washington back. So as long as we can stay healthy, we'll be okay.
Oh, I would say, I mean, as far as the Washington thing, just pump the brakes on that one. That's a major injury. I know how they talk about clean tear compared to whether he had other issues with it and whatnot, but I mean, from what I've noticed, it almost takes guys like a year to get back to themselves after that injury. So
well, especially when you play a position like that, where like you say Rodgers tore his AC or his Achilles, or Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles, where they're not running across the field. Where Adarius is, he's got to cover 25, 30, 40 yards every play. That's a lot different than playing quarterback.
Well, the good news is there's no risk of re-injuring that particular one. I mean, that's like an extremely low. Now, from my understanding, is it could cause you to tear the other one, or cause some other stuff if you're like compensating or doing something. But I wouldn't count on, like, the way that I'm going into this year is I'm not counting on him at all. If he plays, awesome. But anything you get from him is gravy. I'm just rolling him out for this year.
I love gravy.
Yeah. Well, we got to sign. I mean, who are we going to sign, Jason? Who do you think is still on the market that is going to fill that spot, or are we just going to kind of roll with what we got?
I'm going to say the same thing about the safety position I said before. Like, as much as I'd like to think they could swing something for Ramsey and go for broke this year, I'm not sure how he would fit in this locker room. I mean, usually we police our own guys pretty good, but I don't know. I would say if I had to bet, they would just sign someone that we're not even thinking about. That's like nothing special, and they let the guys try to battle it out in-house. But I do think they bring in somebody else. I just don't think it's a huge name. What about you, Mike?
No, I mean, I think they signed somebody. Just because, like you said, Jason, they can't depend on him this year. If he comes back, he comes back, but they have to have a solution to that problem because they're trying to win a Super Bowl this year. So they'll get somebody a depth piece. Some of those guys we talked about, Justin Simmons, I mean, some of those guys are going to be too expensive, but there's going to be somebody who sits out there, somebody who's going to get cut June 1st that they're looking for. Or worse comes to worse, you bring one of those guys in there and they don't do the job, but maybe these young guys like Kane or Braid, they come up and they show that they're ready to go. So they'll get some depth in numbers to try to make sure they cover that position.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. I think Kane and Braid go at it, and then they bring someone else in, unless something happens the next day or so with guys getting cut. Might surprise us all.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Did you want to add anything, John? Okay.
I did not. I got to run here in a minute to go pick up my mother from the airport. So.
All right. Well, Mike, did you want to play Blast from the Past? And then we'll let John, you can go.
Absolutely. I got a good guy. I got a good guy. I'll go first, if that's okay.
Right.
So Blast from the Past is a game where we give clues regarding a certain former player. We've been doing Orioles for the most part, but this season, these last couple of weeks, we've been doing some Ravens players that kind of give a little change of pace. So, John, go ahead.
All right. So this gentleman graduated from UNLV in 1984. He was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, second round, 37th pick in the 85 draft. Played for the Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys, and ended his career with the Ravens in 2001. He was the Pro Football Writers of America NFL Most Valuable Player in 1990, the Offensive Player of the Year in 1990, the Comeback Player of the Year in 92.
Randall Cunningham.
Absolutely. Figured you'd get that one pretty quick, Jason.
Yes, I'm magical. What can I tell you? All right, Mike, you want me to go?
That wasn't JC Romero.
Sure, go ahead, Jay.
Okay, so this feller played football. I'm not telling you who for, but he did play for the Ravens. He's a 2-time Pro Bowl quarterback. Okay, he started in 2002, finished his career in 2010. Okay, so he played 8 years in the NFL. The Ravens signed him to play the quarterback position in 2010. His 2006 and 2003 and 2006 years, he was a Pro Bowler. He has lots of stats. He has 22,814 yards and 122 touchdowns in his career. And he was a quarterback on the Ravens in 2010.
I have an idea, but I need other teams.
Other teams. He only played
Mike,
for one other team.
Go out there on a limb.
Only played for one other team.
Was it the Browns?
Career. 'Twas not. He played for the Rams.
Okay.
Mark Bulger?
Yes, John. Well done. You are correct. See, that was a perfect example of like as soon as you give the team out, you're like, I got it.
Right. Where did Mark Bulger go? Where did he go to school?
Somewhere.
Oh, obviously.
Hold on. Let me see.
South Louisiana State Technical University.
Maybe. You know, he was born in Pittsburgh, though. Let's see. Oh,
he was awesome for a while, for like 3 years post Kurt Warner.
I mean, he got the job done for them. He went to West Virginia, WVU.
Is he married to his cousin too?
Maybe. It's none of your business.
Oh, yeah, I do remember him at WVU. That makes me feel old. Okay, so
Right.
I got the last guy here. We got to get you out to see Miss Shirley. So I will give you the best hint first. He served after his career as an assistant coach at Atlantic Community High School in Delray Beach, Florida. All right. Won an Ed Block Courage Award in 2007. All right. He was drafted in the second round of the 1998 NFL Draft, 46th overall. I'm not going to tell you the team. In 2000, he earned a Pro Bowl selection and first team All-Pro honors after a breakout season with 7 interceptions, including 1 return for a touchdown. He joined the Ravens in 2005, starting all 16 games in his first 2 seasons. He had 3 interceptions and 52 tackles in 2006.
Did you give a position that he plays?
No, but he intercepts the ball.
I'm assuming a cornerback.
Could be safety or corner,
Yes,
John.
corner.
I'm assuming it was corner.
He retired in 2010 at age 33 due to chronic neck injuries and epilepsy.
Samari Roll.
That's him. Samari Roll. He was drafted by the Titans.
All right, gentlemen.
Actually, it was the Oilers, but
I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. I got to go pick up Miss Shirley
John,
from the airport.
it was a pleasure. We will see you on Wednesday.
Absolutely. I'm going to win. I'm going to win Jeopardy. I'm going to go 10-1 that I'm the winner of Jeopardy on Wednesday night.
Ooh, let's bet.
Where do you find those odds? Is that like FanDuel? Where is that?
I'm pulling them out of my asshole. So
hey,
my butthole.
By
Sorry.
the way, so
you kiss Miss Shirley with that mouth?
All right. Goodbye, John. All right. Well, Mike, it's been fun. It was good. I mean, you got what word did I say last time? Curb stomped in the trivia tonight.
I feel like that's not a strength of mine, but that's okay. I do like playing though.
Good time.
I like it. The fun part about trivia for me too is just kind of looking at the names, just like looking back and be like, man, that guy played here, or man, I forgot about that guy. He was awesome. Like, so seeing those names and just kind of having the memories associated with it. Anybody our age, I think, kind of can feel those things. So that's what I love about the trivia games.
Right. And even like the favorite sports moment thing, like when we're able to do stuff like that, like it just gets everybody thinking, oh, I remember that. That was pretty awesome. Oh, this is where I was that night. Like every one of those moments, I can tell you where I was when it happened. So it's like,
yeah.
Oh, wow. It was pretty
so for our listeners out there, if you have a favorite sports moment, please, hang out on our Facebook page. We'll put a post up. please send us in your favorite sports moments. Maybe we'll highlight a couple of those on our next show. So, go down memory lane there for a second, see if you can recall a few things that maybe we missed or something that really struck you that, kept you connected to sports. But that's going to do it tonight for this episode of Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. So thanks for hanging out with us again this evening. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Red Circle, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're at it, please leave us a review. It really helps us out. We're trying to spread the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. Be sure to follow us on social media for more behind-the-scenes action, memes, and bad sports takes. You can find us at dadbods_crabcakes_sports on Instagram and at dadbods crab cakes and sports on our Facebook page. You have a question or topic you'd like us to cover? Hit us up at dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com. Never know, we might just shout you out in our next episode. So until next time, keep drinking that water, Jason. Eating those crab cakes, I'll do that. And never miss a game.
Hopefully I'll see you Wednesday. I won't be dead. Wish me luck. Fasting.
Good luck, Fasty.